What's up, everyone? Dem Boys back at it, man. So this is going to be the coaching session for the one wide run scheme specifically. So that's really all I'm going to use in this game. Did make it a little bit more of a challenge. The guy was definitely a pretty good player. Had some pretty good user skills from a run D standpoint. Definitely made me earn things. So I'm just going in, getting my T backfield stuff set. So I go and set Willis as my T2, Shazier as my TE3. And that's just to keep a crappy tight end and a crappy fullback out of there. This way I have guys who are faster. Some of that will tie into a passing scheme as well. Shout out Captain Ron. He already knows what I'm going to get into. So once everything's set, I'm really just coming out and I want to see, how they're going to react to things, to motions, to off-balance sets. Is the user going to over pursue? What kind of user skills do they have? Which is really going to help me as I go forward in the game to kind of formulate a plan of attack. Uh, Especially as we get later into the game, into the last couple of possessions of the game. How do I want to kind of try to keep this guy off balance? And you're going to see that in this game uh, where I use a lot of dive and middle stuff to then try to set up the edge. Also, when I looked at his lineup, I noticed he was a little light on the edge. So I was noting that right away. That was my first thing. Okay, he's light on the edge. But he had two fast middle linebackers, so I'm thinking he's going to use his user skills. He's going to go over there and try to clean that up. We have Jamal Adams and yeah, some good players, fast. So I see this lineup. I'm like, cool, let's go power. Um, Shoots the gap on me. I'm like, oh, okay. So yeah, he's probably a pretty good user. Um, he's taking that speed and hit power and stuff in the middle and trying to go and clean stuff up. So one thing that I know when people like to shoot gaps, the dive with the motion that'll come into play as this game unfolds. So keep that in mind when people like to shoot a lot of gaps. Like when you're trying to run a dive, they start to hit your gaps. Out of the H wing, this dive, you can motion yeah, you will see it as the game comes on. But we're gonna go ahead and test that user to the outside a bit. See how he handles some multiple motions. Now again, gaps are getting shot right up the middle. Um, Not surprised by that. I was pretty well prepared for that. Wanted to try to take that edge, just because of the tendency that he had showed. I ignore me continuing to go look at my audibles. I had essentially just kind of confused myself right out the gate because I was responding to some text messages when the game started. um, yeah, Willis is fast. I guess I saw the user and just decided, well, the way the blocking's set up, let's get wide and just try to outrun him and get that edge. Uh, was unable to do it. So again, noting that I'm going to have to try to find kind of creative ways to pick off the user as this game goes on. So he spreads the linebackers wide. Here's, I was telling you, that dive. I was kind of waiting to break that one out. Hit him with a little stop and go. A little disappointed in Shazier, man. I felt like I gave him a real good opportunity to go hit that block for me. Um, he just didn't quite make the play. But also there, note, he got caught on the down lineman. So there are times where I can definitely, through motion or just coming out and quick snapping right away, I can potentially get him out of position. So that's something to note if you start to see that, through different setups and things like that. You get guys stuck on down linemen. Wasn't going to work twice. That time he was set up. He was on the linebacker. He shot a gap. Another one shot the other gap, which is really difficult to come up with a run defense that will do that against the motion like that. Typically, one of those two guys will at least get picked up. So I guess I'm just kind of noting at this point that I'm really going to have to try to keep this guy off balance schematically. I have to be very alert of his user, wide cleaning stuff up. He can shoot gaps in the middle. Really, you're just going to see me kind of trying to keep him off balance. And I'm guessing he has unfakeable or something, secure tackle, something, I don't know. Something, because I couldn't shake him. So I want to show him this motion, which is a lot of times a stretch within my offense. And, I thought I could get everyone to, get him to kind of think outside and then overcommit back inside and then actually bounce it outside. Um, just couldn't quite make that outside guy miss or get that block picked up. But that's okay. Uh, we've learned an awful lot about this guy's tendencies. Um, and we've set him up by running a lot up the middle. So even there, right, it's a long down and distance, and what did I do? Run up the middle. Everyone expects stretch every time. So we're just kind of trying to break tendencies, and you'll notice his version of breaking tendencies throughout this game is he will pass in run situations and run in pass situations. Uh, and mask, did a good job of masking when that stuff was coming. And that was really what about his offense more than anything gave me some fits. So again, I'm just setting up my corners at safety, safeties at corner. Don't really know where, but I think he's running wide. I realize I'm wrong, so I just kind of jump on the route and hope that, the heat gets there. That's the great thing about that type of a run defense. I think I've said this before in coaching videos, but if you're wrong, well, then it's just a blitz. Hopefully they get home. But, nothing wrong with blitzing. So. Again, see, he's in a second and long. He's running the ball. I just up the middle too. Maybe expect something out wide. He was really a little more difficult to get a beat on than most people. Again, obvious passing situation. He's running the ball. And then going for it right away too. Like just. I mean, he's probably saw that first run, and or that first drive, and realized, he stopped me, and it gets pretty tough to continue to play like that. So we're gonna set up our little kind of one-off cover three here. Really just wanted to confuse, give him an odd shell, something that you just never could see anything that looks remotely like it's stock for that first, gonna have to pass for really type situation. So now, I mean, you really just kind of can continue to plug away, doing things slightly differently. Different motions, maybe, doing things in different orders, running from, maybe running the stretch to the short side versus if you'd run to the wide side. In this case, I was just going to try that setup, so there's my something different. Still just could not shake that user. Also, I was going wide. I wanted to see when I get into an off-balance set, does he shift everybody, to that side? And he didn't. So he stayed home, kind of kept me honest, so to speak. But you definitely want to know how someone's going to respond to that, if you're going to have cutback lanes or what. Um, Again, right on top of me, shooting gaps. So, games like this, they come down to a few plays one way or the other. So if it's 4th and inches and I'm going for it, you darn well better believe I'm turning blocking and running back on aggressive. What do I got to lose? I get a penalty and end up in a longer down and distance? Okay, I'll kick the field goal. You know? So really note that that's something that's really important in these types of situations. If you're going to go for it, go. Go balls to the wall. So there, boom, we get them. Was hoping, obviously, that my blocks was hit, and then I just turboed right the heck where I saw part of some daylight. I maybe could have got a bigger run, even a touchdown. Typically, I'm on aggressive doing that. I'm trying to find a sliver of daylight, especially if I have a guy like Chris Johnson, and I'm just firing forward at it. Again, he hasn't, really let me juke him. So my adjustment when I'm running there is don't really try. Just, try to get that outside angle, get some yardage, kind of just stay on track with the down and distance. And there we go. You just kind of keep plugging away. It's tough to shoot those gaps every time and to guess right every time. When you're showing them all these different motions and doing different things out of them and changing what order you're doing the motions in, maybe you switch to the play, then you flip. Maybe the next time you run it, you flip, then switch to the play. You will see that come into play at the end of the game as well. So I'm thinking stretch again. Don't. I mean, I don't know, maybe he's going to change it up. I see that motion. I'm wrong. He loves to do that and run up the middle. So now I set up some run D. And of course, he decides it's time to throw the ball. I mean, uh, 1st and 10, obvious run situation, throw the ball. So now this is a mesh. This is a mix-up. I'm blitzing one extra guy. I don't know what's coming, darn it. And he gets me. Just gets right under me. So I'm on my heels a little bit, which, typically means let's throw some type of pressure at him that he hasn't seen yet. Plus, I like to try to knock people out of field goal range and be aggressive right around here. And he gets me. With my mid read, I didn't put him up top, so I was a little. I guess it was a nice throw. He fit it right in there, the only place he could. So I'll switch to my typical kind of red zone defense in this area. And I notice here that he is trying to get to that running back. And that was just perfect click on, guys. So there, I was kind of out of the play, but I was still watching him trying to see the field through his eyes. And I mean, I was waiting for him to throw that so I could click on. He had a 0% chance of ever completing that. Um, at all. At all. Click on is so important, guys. And what do I do but give it right back? I'm not great at reading RPOs, don't use a lot of them. I simply wanted to keep this guy off balance, and I misread that thing and gave him all kinds of life. I was mad at myself right there. Kudos to him for not getting baited there. I thought I was going to pick him off. I thought he was going to try me. So back into the red zone defense. I'm watching for the running back, but I do not get my safety down in a yellow opposite the running back like I did the first play. And I got away with it here, but he saw it. And golly, I don't know. I can't tell you why the heck I didn't go back to it. I think I was plainly slipping. I know I tried to move my safeties down at the last second to try to get them to play down a little bit further. But as you'll see right there, it didn't work. Should have had that safety down in a yellow like I did the first time. Because he was running the same red zone play. Good red zone play too, by the way. So maybe rewind that back and check out his scheme there. It does really make the user go account for that running back, which is really what he's looking for. Either you use or that, or it's an easy touchdown. He throws to the running back, but now he knows where the user's going to be, making his other reads a little bit less dicey. But he hasn't done nothing unless I've given it to him at this point, so, still feel pretty strong. Tried to just catch him off guard. Shazier's fast, who knows? We'll get later into how I did that. I will say this. So there, really, all I was trying to do was get him to go out wide and then do a deep spin, a real wide spin back in and try to shoot up the middle. Worth a shot. So by now I've kind of taken inventory that it's tough to guess when he's going to run versus pass. probably expect there's a decent chance you're going to see pass on first down. So that's kind of what I'm looking for here. I'm hoping to maybe kind of trick him. And he finds the one guy, of course, that gets open. Barely. So again, keeping in the tradition of trying to trick him, I'm just giving him looks that I have not given him in the first half. Obviously, he makes a great read there with the blitz. So I believe here's I set up where it appears I'm in that blitz again, but I'm actually not. Again, just trying to confuse. Yep. Hoping that he'll make a quick throw, just and just totally screw up. That's crap. I was so mad when he caught that. Come on, look at that replay. Get out of here. Okay. So when he motions the running back out, I get X-manned up on him because he has shown me that he will do that. Another thing I notice, okay, so what he really wants to do is he's probably wants to either hit that running back, and if the running back's not there, he's going to hit that tight end in the spot that the running back vacates. So definitely duly noted, and he's going to pay for that later in the game. So again, he loves that little motion and run, gets me again. I was in a decent run defense. Like that was my, that's like my hybrid, my SS blitz and the big nickel. That's a mix between run D and pass D for me. So first down he passed, second down he's going to what? I should have been in 4-3 odd. But I realized my mistake at the last second and sent that blitzer. I don't know if you saw that. I sent a blitzer and just kind of got in there, realized, oh crap, I'm making an error. So here I kind of outsmart myself. I'm thinking, okay, well, he's going to do whatever is not obvious. So I pinch, which isn't great run defense anyways, but yeah, and he gets me. I just outsmarted myself. But he really did a good job of making me pay for being any kind of a hybrid. Like, well, this is kind of run, kind of pass. Wasn't really going to allow too much of that. But that's okay. Because remember, I've been setting them up with all these inside runs. So despite what you may be thinking, at this point, I'm actually feeling okay. I'm fine. I'm not super worried about anything. I feel like I'm definitely going to go score this drive. Because now we're going to start to hit him outside. And we're going to get that user starting to make mistakes, right? Now the game's set in a little bit. All this misdirection, motion stuff is going to, at some point, start to pay dividends and get the user out of position. It's just kind of the way it works. So I kind of hit him with another one up the middle. Like, yep, just business as usual. That's all I'm doing, guy. So again, I remembered that he didn't, slide his line or anything. But again, he did a good job of kind of clicking on, getting him in position, and clicking off. Uh, Very few people really do that very well. And there it is. Although this also I was not thrilled with. I don't know who's chasing down Chris Johnson with 96 speed. Um, just spun the clock here. We're going to get Chris Johnson a breather, obviously. So this time I flipped it, then switched. So this gives it a totally different look. And yep, got him. I told you that was going to come into play later. That was very intentional. Because up until that point, I had been switching the formation and then flipping, if anything, if I was going to flip it. So again, it's just, I'm really doing the same thing. It just looks a little bit different. And over the course of a game, somebody's trying to guess right now because they've seen so many different motions and they're going to guess wrong. And when they do, you just capitalize. That's how this all run scheme really works. And bring your defense. So this is, again, I'm trying to go hybrid, but maybe the other way, so a little bit heavier. See the running back come out. I man him up and I hard flat for that tight end. That's going to be on the drag. And then I peel off, and wham, he pays for it. So that was where, just having seen something, I knew I had a good answer at my disposal. Didn't expect maybe the turnover, but that was definitely not an accident that things didn't go well for him on that play. So really there in the last few minutes at the end of this game, I'm +2 on being a step ahead of him on the big plays with some chess moves. So now I'm just going to man up the tight end and leave everybody deep, simply to give him a little different look. And he did run a completely different play, and it was boxed, issue being he had way too long. Because I just didn't think, oh, what about what happened made me think he was going to go back to that, that exact concept. Why would you? So I'm a little bit angry, so we're going back to pressure. Also, I want to get people out of field goal range, so this is an area on the field I do like to be a little more aggressive. And that time it pays off. And I realized that I had forgot to set my 4-4 subs, or my 3-4 bear subs, excuse me. I don't go into that formation every game. That's kind of a you make me do it. And there, I misplayed it a little bit. I should have undercut it. And I just noted that. It's all you can do is note that. Okay, I made a decent enough play to break it up, but I should have had him. So just kind of, I put that kind of stuff in the back of my mind. Don't let it bother me, but be aware of it. And don't let it happen twice. Now there, I'm just trying to rip him because I know it doesn't matter. He's caught the ball. He's in field goal range. He's not getting past the rest of my defense. So that's a good time to try to just, swing for the fences. Why not? Nothing to lose. So he got his one big play, but other than that, the defense is holding up pretty well. Uh, Got to feel pretty good about the position you're in here. So having hit him wide last time, I figure, well, let's try to get him up the middle. Also, I just want to stay ahead of the chains a bit. This was just me trying to give him a new formation, new look, see how he'd handle it. And there was people everywhere. So again, what do I got to lose? Let's be aggressive. Go get it. So it's not obvious that I'm going to stretch here necessarily because I have run dive here. Um, but I put in the motion because I know he's not going to come out. And really, I should not have put in that motion because it would not have been obvious there, right? I had run the dive in a third down and long before. So then I needed to follow up with my game plan at that time and throw that element of confusion in. And that's where I dropped the ball. And again, guys, you've been seeing me move those safeties out like that all game just so I don't get burned deep behind the cloud flats and outside of the safeties. There, again, just kind of a different look. I haven't played just a Tampa 2 out of a 3-4 odd all game. And I had the deep third in the blue just because, of course, I want to be safe, especially in a 3-4. And again, here we are in second down and long. Minute 40 left, and this guy's running the ball. Stays true to his game plan. That falls under the category of take it. I'm not worried about that. So he motions out, I check into a complete pass rush. And normally my click on game is strong enough to get that. I just missed it. And I was not thrilled with myself. Wasn't an easy one, but one you got to get. So I realize, oh crap, he's running up the middle, and I pinch my line. Then he just runs outside. I'm like, okay, it's because I've seen the motion before, right? I should have just did guess run middle, really. Didn't want to be wrong and give up the touchdown though. And there, I kind of baited him. You go back and look, I kind of bumped him, little pass interference. And then I told you, you just have to remember, don't make the same mistake twice. That time, the reason why I easily got under that was because I just took a straight line under him. I looked to the sideline as opposed to looking at the tight end and said, how can I, fastest way to get in between him and the quarterback. And I took that exact line and just got him. So it looked stupid, but I get why he threw it and what he thought he had. Them boys back at it. I hope this really helps you understand how to utilize this run game, as a standalone or even as you mix it up throughout the game, right? Because you just would have pass plays in between, but that doesn't change what we want to accomplish when we run the ball. So, them boys, like, comment, subscribe. Peace.